Welcome to the Sunday service at CSLN. We are a welcoming and inclusive community of inspired individuals caring for and about each other and the entire planetary family. The Center for Spiritual Living Nashville offers spiritual tools for anyone seeking a more fulfilled and meaningful life through a deeper connection with a higher power or universal truths. Be sure to subscribe below if you enjoy our programs. Now let's join today's service.
Good morning and welcome to CSLN Sunday. This is a wonderful time to get out and get over all the pent-up worries about being at home, and it's great to have our online audience joining us right now, and just wonderful to see all those wonderful faces out here in person and feel the energy that's coming toward us and that fills this building up. We love you and we appreciate you so very, very much. And happy Father's Day. Well, yes. Yeah. And we are all from a father somewhere, and we know the very best in our hearts for them. And as we feel that presence and know that they are always with us and that God brought them into our lives to bring our lives into fruition, we respect and honor their hearts today. Also, it is important that we acknowledge a new national holiday, Juneteenth. And it's been a long time coming, but with many times, denial is something that is hard to deal with. And the more we put things away and behind us, the harder it is to deal with them. And we carry a heavy load of in our history for not realizing who we are and where we came from. We know that we are one under spirit. We know that we are all connected, and that when one of us is hurt, we're all hurt. When we all feel love, when one of us feel love, we all feel love. We know that going through this holiday, that there's much history that has not been shared, and that as we share the history around this holiday, we learn so much more about our lives and where we have come from. It allows us to go forward and release the pent-up pain and worry and heartbreak of some of our past. So I'm knowing today that we are in a wonderful place in our history, and that this new opportunity to discover more and more things about our lives is just so important. So today, if you're a visitor, we're so glad you're here, and we'd like you to take a visitor packet at the back table when you leave, and join us afterwards for coffee and tea and a visit with our speaker today, which is the Reverend Rosemary Cathcart. Yes. And again, thank you for being here. It means everything. As we put our hearts together, we put energy together. And the energy touches every single one of us in every way. So it is good to be in your life and have you in mind. Now, I'd like to introduce Mark Horowitz. Mark was one of the first people I saw when I came to this center a few years ago, when it met at the YWCA on Woodmont Boulevard. I came in, and Mark had a small keyboard and 2 plastic speakers, and Dr. Mitch was giving a talk in like 2 of the little meeting areas over there. Well, it expanded very quickly, but Mark was the beginning there with Dr. Mitch with that whole program, and it was wonderful to be with him there, and it's certainly great to be with you here now. So he's going to introduce our guest speaker in our band. So Mark Horowitz, yeah.
How wonderful it is to be here on this Father's Day in the building, people in the building and people also watching. The guest artist today, a personal friend I've known many years who's been here, and want to say passionate about his music and understands the craft of writing songs. So it's a pleasure to introduce him, from New York City, and somebody that, whenever you meet him, easy to like immediately. Please welcome Gordon Ellis.
Last Saturday, my cousin Paul jumped in the river, clothes and all, to celebrate when Sue put on his ring. Everybody said he's crazy, but I got to thinking maybe I could use more spontaneity. I've let my inhibitions turn into prohibitions, second-guessed myself at every turn. Now I'm ready to live bolder before I get any older, not be so afraid of getting burned. I give myself permission to walk out of this prison. These walls I built around me, I'm ready to take down. So I've started the removal of this need for approval. I give myself permission to be who I am right now. I've always been a people pleaser, filling everybody's needs and paying no attention to my own. Needing praise from someone else to feel okay about myself, but always feeling empty in my soul. Maybe I'll write that novel, take off a year and travel, or be the leader of a band. Hey, my life is waiting for me, no more delay, and now it's time to let my wish be my command. I give myself permission this prison. These walls I built around me, I'm ready to take down. So I've started the removal of this need for approval. I give myself permission to be who I am right now. Permission to be who I am right now. I give myself permission to be who I am right now. To be who I am right now. To be who I am right now.
Gordon Ellis.
Good morning. I'm Karen Sorensen, and I'm a member of the Board of Trustees. Good morning, everybody. We're so glad to see you all here and out there in TV land. We are open, and this is so exciting. So we're so glad that people are starting to venture out. So welcome again, everyone. Again, happy Father's Day. to all the fathers out there, but also to all the men who have been instrumental in any kid's life, really. You know, we couldn't have done it without you, and so we honor all of you today. All right, meditation has started again. It is upstairs. We start at 10:15, and you can join the practitioners every Sunday up in the very large classroom. Creative Youth is back, and they are meeting every Sunday after 10 o'clock, so we do have staff now for the youngsters and the teenagers. Sacred Service team is providing refreshments today, so please join us after the service for coffee, tea, cookies, and I think Rice Krispie bars. Hopefully you'll like one of those things. We are hiring. We're looking for an assistant to the administrator, and we're paying $15 an hour, and it's about 20 hours a week, and it will maybe progress into taking over for our administrator, Heidi, who is actually donating all her time at this point. So all the details are on our website and in our newsletter. All right, we have some things going on this week. On Tuesday, on Zoom, the Women's Circle will meet at 7. On Wednesday is the Evening Soul Refresh service, which starts at 6:30 with the practitioners. They'll be discussing questions that we'll post in the newsletter this week that are based on our Sunday talk today, Rosemary's talk. So watch the newsletter, and then you can join in and discuss Rosemary's talk on Wednesday. All the details are on our website, which is cslnashville.org, under calendar, and then meetings and events. All right, our social committee is getting busy. In June, we're having a divine dining, if you will, music, food, and fun, Saturday, June 26th at 5 o'clock. And we are going to go to, it's 5 o'clock somewhere, Bar and Grill down in Smyrna. This is owned by our very own Jody and Alex Lopez Robinson. And I'll tell you, I was there Friday night, and it was a blast. So please join us down there next Saturday. Does anybody want to go kayaking this summer sometime? If you do, let's email Bob Sadler if you're interested, and there's more details in the newsletter and on the website under meetings and events. David Arnholter will be teaching our next upcoming class, which is going to be Untethered Soul by Michael Singer, and details again will be in the newsletter. If you're in need of a spiritual mind treatment, please reach out to one of our practitioners on the website. You choose a practitioner by an individual contact form and a request. So on that page, it says, please contact whatever practitioner that you would like. Let's stay connected and give lots of love to help our center thrive. Visit lovecsln.com, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Give it a thumbs up. And thanks for all your support. Have a wonderful week. And again, happy Father's Day. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I get the honor of introducing the musicians. This whole thing looks probably pretty easy, but due to preparation and the great talent of the people that are here playing. So introducing from my left across the stage, on rhythm guitar, Ben Williams. And lead guitar, Brian Wright. Don Morgan on bass. And then Brooklyn Pizza Man, Spence. And a very large hand for Gregory Price on percussion.
Thanks. Happy Father's Day, first of all. I think you've already been wished that, but not from me. And I want to give a shout out to my co-writer on this song, Marty Renone, because he brought this song to our co-writing session. And it's actually helped me to heal my relationship with my father, even though he was gone. So I hope it's meaningful and helpful to anybody here who needs it. It's called Chain of Fear.
My dad, and he was scared of his father, so I've heard.
'cause I come from a long line of angry men, so quick with a discouraging word. I could let it go on like father, like son, but now I got kids of my own, and it's all in my hands. It's up to me. It's time to start a brand new legacy. I wanna look back someday, knowing that while I was here, I did my part to break the chain of fear. Well, Granddaddy passed down his anger from a life of frustration and pain, and Daddy didn't know any better, so he became one more link in the chain. I wanna turn all that darkness to patience and love, let my kids feel how special they are. So it's all in my hands. It's up to me. It's time to start a brand new legacy. I wanna look back someday, knowing that while I was here, I did my part to break the chain of fear. I still carry those scars somewhere in my heart, but it's time to forgive and move on, 'cause it's all in my hands. It's up to me, yeah. It's time to start a brand new legacy. I wanna look back someday, knowing that while I was here, I did my part to break the chain of fear. So I'm doing my part to break the chain of fear.
Thank you, Gordon.
Good morning. My name's Carl Franklin, and I'm one of the practitioners here, and I'm so happy to be here with you all this morning. I wanted to read, my reading today is How to Love and to Be Loved. This is one of the older textbooks that we used many years ago by Jack and Cornelia Addington. Marvelous little book. And the chapter that I'm reading is on love. Love has to begin right within us. Each one of us have to make a move, be it ever so slight, in the direction of love. Sometimes it starts with understanding, but there has to be the desire to understand. I find that this can be accomplished by a simple affirmation. I understand you, and you understand me. When I find someone who seems hard to love, I work at this. And then I begin to understand that person, and then I begin to love that person. Love can start with compassion. The word compassion is derived from the root meaning with love. Instead of looking at a person condemningly just because that person is different, try compassion. How would you feel in that person's shoes? And what would you need to help you feel loved? If it is in giving that we receive, and we can feel love only as we get love. So many people think that when they are trying to develop a feeling of love, they have to do something tremendous for there to be a great change. It is through little things. Develop a feeling of gentleness or kindness towards each other that we learn the ways of love. When we express love in little ways, just the casual giving of a smile, going back to say a good word, and the little things that we do in the spirit of love, these are the things that make us the total idea, take up the total idea of love. So this is the way we begin love. Finally, we are able to live love in all of our expressions of life. We have to keep remembering that love begins right within our own hearts. I lost my brother-in-law this week. He was a beautiful African American. And he had the grace. He was such a beautiful human being. And he was full of compassion. He taught me compassion. And he would have been so excited for this holiday. He was married to my sister for 23 years. He married her after she came off the mission field. She was a missionary up until she was 40. But anyways, he was an amazing, amazing man. And one of the last things in his obituary, last lines was, he was also one to tell you that he loves you at the end of every visit or every conversation. What an amazing example. We can all do that. We can all tell every living soul that we meet, that we come in contact with, we love you. So I thank you for allowing me to share that with you today. And so it is. His name is Gary Ray Nelson. Yeah. Beautiful soul. As a matter of fact, when I got to the funeral home yesterday, they had these buttons that they had made. This was one of his last birthday parties. He had this African-looking hat on that was just the cutest thing. And he didn't have that on in the casket, but you know, he was just as big as life. So it was such a beautiful experience getting to know him and to have him a part of my life. So thank you.
Thank you, Carl. We're going to bring back again Gordon Ellis. All right, that's okay.
So sorry I got taken away here. Yes. So I want you to take a deep breath and know this truth. Know this truth with me this morning. God is the one source, the loving power, the divine presence that permeates all of us this morning. Wherever I go, God is. for I am one with this beautiful source of all life. As we have joined together this morning to serve and to be a place of love through which Spirit moves, we know that we all are a blessing. We all are a blessing to others. We give thanks for this opportunity this day to be here. And together we say, and so it is.
That was beautiful, Carl. And I just want you to know I wrote this song with our own practitioner, Laura Landris. All for all the times. He walks a little slower than he used to. He forgets a little quicker than he did. And his eyes don't seem to shine quite as brightly as I remember back when I was a kid. There were times when he was hard to get along with. God knows we've had our share of angry words, but his autumn is now turning into winter, and there are things I need to say he hasn't heard. For all the times I hurt you, please forgive me, and for all the times you hurt me, it's okay. For all the times we let our pride hide the love we felt inside, and who was right or wrong got in the way. For all the times I didn't say I love you, I love you's what I really want to say. I never got to say those things to Mama. She was gone before my red-eye flight touched down. Now I wonder if she knew how much I loved her. Sometimes those guilty thoughts still come around. So I swore I wouldn't keep my love unspoken in the circle of my family and friends. Then the next time the ties that bind are broken, there'll be no regrets for what I should have said. For all the times I hurt you, please forgive me, and for all the times you hurt me, it's okay. For all the times we let our pride hide the love we felt inside, and who was right or wrong got in the way. For all the times I didn't say I love you, I love you's what I really want to say. So I'm gonna say it. And to all the ones I haven't said I love you, I love you's what I really wanna say. Thank you.
Thank you, Gordon.
Thank you, Gordon. Let's give him a hand again. Good morning. I'm Gwendolyn Smith, a practitioner here at CSLN, and I would like to go and wish everyone a happy Father's Day, and for those who have lost their fathers, a happy heavenly Father's Day. And welcome all of those who are present and all of those out there in TV land. I have the pleasure of introducing our speaker for today, Rosemary Cathcart. Rosemary has been a long-time student of science of mind, having taken many classes from Dr. Reverend Mitch Johnson. She is a traditional Reiki master, a hypnotherapist, an astrologer, and a natural clairvoyant mediumistic channel for spirit. With an unwavering belief in the divine order of all things, she attempts to live her life according to principle. She is a minister with Universal Brotherhood Movement, a non-sectarian, non-denominational, fully licensed ministerial organization with a worldwide membership. She has served as an ordaining minister director since 1990, and in March of 2013, she assumed the role of president of the organization. She is proud to have ordained a number of CSLN practitioners. As a longtime member of CSLN, Professor Religious Science of Nashville, and her appreciation for our teaching and love for the center runs deep, and she is honored to be with us today. Now, put your hands together and welcome Rosemary Cathcart.
Talk about a hard act to follow. The delightful Gwen. Good morning. How is everyone today? There are people here. This is thrilling. What fun to have my longtime friend, Mark Horowitz, who just disappeared, sitting in today for Larry Faragalli. There he is. And the always surprising Gordon Ellis. I mean, it's amazing, that music. Didn't it touch your heart? We all have such unusual and different relationships with our fathers, and I think you hit on all of it. So what a weekend, folks. In one weekend, we have Juneteenth, after how many hundreds of years? Yes, today, the summer solstice, the longest day of the year. It'll happen exactly, I think, 8:32 p.m. tonight, our time. But more time to love, more time to express ourselves, and more time to enjoy life right here on our wonderful planet. And of course, happy Father's Day. I wanted to reflect, and everybody kind of covered this. I love that Reverend Lynn opens the program now, because we all have unusual relationships with our Father. Very few people have the hallmark moment. But at the end of the day, we can only teach what we know, to Gordon's song. So to all of the men who gave us life, God bless them. Thank you for giving us life. And what we do with it now is up to us. Yeah. So thank goodness we're all here. So our overall theme for the month of June is love using compassion. to love unconditionally and to joyously express Spirit's love for ourselves and for others. And as the sign outside says, only love is spoken here. I mean, I think that's wraps it up. The courage to lead a compassionate life is my topic for today. And I hope to cover a lot of territory with that. What is your personal definition of compassion? Do you even have one, or is it one of these things that kind of hangs out there in the ethers? Do you consider yourself to be a compassionate person? Are you compassionate toward yourself? That's always a good question. In the Talmud, it is said that he who has compassion upon others receives compassion from heaven. And in Matthew 9:36, we are told, when Jesus saw the multitudes, he was moved with compassion because they were as sheep having no shepherd. Without love, without compassion, we do kind of wander aimlessly, don't we? Yeah. The times we're living in right now are so tumultuous, to say the least. Just turning on the television for a quick news update can be such a downer. I try not to do that. Just 5 minutes of headlines can be full of so much heartache and things that we really can't affect immediately. Unfortunately, the more we're exposed to media, and we have the most media-saturated time we have ever enjoyed in history, we kind of get dull to the real tragedy of seeing people shot, seeing people killed, seeing demonstrations where people are just peacefully walking and they end up being a statistic. It can be heartbreaking. Yet as students of the science of mind, teaching, which we are, right, I believe it is not only our place, but our obligation to change all of those dynamics. After all, if we believe these words, there is always a greater possibility available to you. There is a divine strength and an infinite wisdom at the center of your being, ever waiting to be released. And that's Dr. Ernest Holmes. A divine strength and an infinite wisdom at the center of your being that always knows the truth, always, that never wavers from the truth, ever, and that is unafraid to be the one lone voice that rises to say, no, that is not right. No, that behavior is inappropriate, it is unacceptable, and it is unkind. Let's face it, we've all been careless, we've all made mistakes. I cannot be the only one here who has temporarily forgotten my good self. And we've all done things that we knew immediately were not right, immediately. No matter what our religious affiliation might be, we can either come from a place of knowing beyond a shadow of a doubt that we operate under divine law, or we are functioning under the umbrella of the social mind construct, which is Fox News, CNN, ABC, CBS, you name it. If you are operating under the social mind construct, then you are at the mercy of everything out there floating around in the world. Every news story, every tragedy, every hideous thing that could happen right here on planet Earth and beyond. And you have no way out except to be reactive, angry, frustrated, and terrified. And just as helpless as a trapped animal. Or you can know with every fiber of your being that your life operates under the principles of divine law. Feel that. Does divine law live in you? Are you listening to a higher voice? Is divine law what allows you to be the voice of reason in the world, to have courage, to be a person of substance? I think so. If your life is operating under the principles of divine law, that brilliant place in the universe where you know that greater possibilities are just around the corner for you every day, and that there is a divine strength and an infinite wisdom always available to you. But you have to be peaceful in your own circuit of energy to connect with it. And if you're frantic and mad and looking for a fight, your good could be right in front of you and you will miss it. You absolutely will. When you believe and you know that you are under divine law, you are part of an immense circuit of boundless energy that reaches throughout our galaxy and beyond into the infinite universe. You too can become a limitless resource of creativity and light, expressing through all that is, seeking the highest and the best channel of hope, greater possibilities, and compassion for all of life. Now, what sounds like the better option? Being under the umbrella of the social mind construct, and you've got to post something really, really cute on Facebook or Twitter or TikTok or whatever, and then you go back and scream at your husband? Or would you like to be under the umbrella of divine law? We choose every moment. It's not like we chose 5 days ago. Every breath, every moment, every thought, every emotion that comes out of you, you are choosing your route in life. So before I go any further, if you're familiar with the study of heart math, it is about 45, 50 years old now, and it was begun by a gentleman named Doc Childress. And it is the measurement of the vibratory field of the heart as compared to the brain. They've discovered some fascinating things now that we have all that technology. The vibrations of the brain and the heart can be calculated now magnetically. What they've discovered is that the heart has an intelligence that is not only powerful, but when harnessed and directed appropriately, it can change not only your life, but the lives of anyone you direct focused attention to. Isn't that exciting? You can manage that. You can get deep into your heart. You can use that to direct love and light and goodness and hope, kindness. Just how many times has just a kind word made your day, lifted your spirit at just exactly the right time? To know that we are in possession of these two extraordinary instruments, and we know if we are a student of science of mind, the mind is an instrument, and it needs to be crafted, it needs to be managed, it needs to have boundaries, and it needs to be taught a better way to function in the world. And with the heart, between the mind and the heart, this is what psychologists often call the longest yard. Because you might be able to get something in somebody's head, but you may not be able to get it in their heart. So think about that. Think about the blend and how you can train and retrain again and again and again using these marvelous instruments. And just like in one of Gordon's songs, he was talking about what his father didn't know and his grandfather didn't know. The buck stops here. Buck stops here. You know, if you did not get the idyllic childhood, how old are you now? whoopsie. Yeah, it's heartbreaking. It wasn't particularly great, but I think the minute we hit like 29, 30, when the brain is finally fully formed, it's up to us to change things, change our perception. And like in Gordon's song, the buck is going to stop here. He's going to change that vibration. He's not going to continue that inappropriate negative pattern. That's about an awakened spirit, an awakened soul that wants to do better. That's divine grace in action. Divine intelligence flows through me, inspiring me, directing me into ever more worthwhile goals of creative, loving endeavor. God guides me in every way. Instead of the usual breathing exercise that I do, I would really like to try something a little different, but it calls for focus and it calls for courage, and if you're not in, you don't have to do it. How about that? Breathing is a part of it, of course, because there's a reason it's called the breath of life. When we're not breathing, we are not here. I want you to get comfortable in your seats, maybe uncross your legs, put your feet on the floor. When you put your feet on the floor, you're actually grounding yourself quite deliberately. And I am going to ask you to close your eyes. And before we do this, kind of look around, see your surroundings, whether you're here with us in the sanctuary, sitting at home, listening in your office, wherever you might be. Just kind of look around. This will anchor you in this present moment of time. So I'd like you to start taking a couple of nice, full, deep breaths. And when you breathe, inhaling whole, fresh energy with a deep, long, easy breath, I want you to imagine that that breath is flowing freely to all of your 300 trillion plus cells. So you're not just breathing into your throat, your lungs, your diaphragm. Breathe down to your little toe. And as you take 3 or 4 comfortable deep breaths like this, I want you to know that you are safe, you are loved, you are protected by divine light at every moment of your life. Now, inhaling whole, fresh energy with a deep, long, easy breath, I'm asking you to have some real courage now as you bring to mind something that may be hard to face. So to give it a little separation, I want you to create behind your closed eyes a large white. Just magically appears. That's how powerful you are. And on this whiteboard, I'm asking you to bring to mind and remember and create now the worst thing you have ever done to another human being. See it play out on the whiteboard in graphic detail. Hear the dialogue. Feel the emotion. Remember the temperature of the moment. Feel all of this in your body and in your mind, knowing you are now an observer and not an active participant. You are safe even as you see and feel it all. And now it's time to erase that whiteboard completely. As you now take another full deep breath, and as you exhale that breath, sincerely ask for divine grace and compassion, for complete forgiveness, and to release you forevermore from the shame, the guilt, the hurt, the heaviness, and the sadness. And if you're still weighted down by the recollection of this event, call in the angels of the violet flame to just swoop in and clear you off with the power and the presence of the violet flame, releasing any remnants of that long ago mistaken use of your powerful life force energy. And just take a nice full deep breath and just brush down the front of your body and just send it away. It's gone. You are not who you were then. None of us are. We have studied, we have worked diligently to open our hearts, to open our minds, and we too are deserving of grace, forgiveness, compassion, and understanding. As students of the law, we know that there is always a greater possibility available to us, and that we too are deserving of compassion and forgiveness. We can now also embrace the concept that there is a divine strength and an infinite wisdom residing at the very heart of who you are, waiting to be released, to be shared not only with yourself, but with the masses. Ernest Holmes was famous for stating that God is always present, and that our life's work is to teach and practice and teach. Heaven is within us, and we experience it to the degree that we become conscious of it and put it into daily practice. Miracles do indeed happen. They do indeed happen. And just as a little aside, whatever image you brought to light today, don't be surprised if that person is still in physical form, if you hear from them, or if it's somebody who has passed on to the other side of the veil, you're going to dream about them. And just say hello, just like your lovely brother-in-law, Gordon. He's here with us. Carl. He's here with us today. There's nowhere to go. Nowhere. How did it feel to you to do that exercise? Was it a little awkward, a little uncomfortable? Yeah. Perhaps foreign? That's a good thing, if it was foreign. In her book, Tears to Triumph, Marianne Williamson states this: even our mistakes can lead us to a better place once we surrender to what we hadn't surrendered to before. The issue is to become now who you weren't before, so you can start again from a different place. Brilliant. We always get to start again. We have an enormous universe that is just now being seen in its vastness, and science has yet to find the edges. The divine creator, in the brilliance, created a universe that is so huge, we can only map a little bit of it. So imagine as you grow and you change and recognize how much you matter, where can you send your consciousness? Where can you send your thoughts? Where can you send your vibrations? I take the statement to pray without ceasing to heart. And I have to do it. My brain is one of those super busy, nosy, always wanting to chatter brains. So I have discovered if I'm working on something, I have to turn it into a prayer. And then I turn it into a mantra. And then I repeat it and repeat it and repeat it and repeat it. And to me, it could be something as wonderful as, I am abundantly blessed. Can you say that? I am abundantly blessed. Now, can you say it like you really mean it? I am abundantly blessed. There we go. Great. Okay. I am an instrument of divine light and grace. I am an instrument of divine light and grace. Gwen knows. She knows how to do that. Thank you. Wherever I am, God is. I am enough. I am loved, adored, and cherished. My life operates under perfect divine order. My life operates under perfect divine order. Thank you. It's interesting when you develop a mindset like that, no matter what's going on in front of you and inside you're believing you're a child of God and you're doing your best and you want to be a resource, everybody in front of you feels it, and it can shift the whole paradigm immediately. By definition, compassion is a feeling of deep sympathy for the misfortune of others and the accompanying desire to alleviate such suffering, to be a resource of goodness. The more awakened we are to ourselves, to the spiritual laws of the universe, the more that compassion can emerge to flawlessly reach out to the very fabric of another's soul, and you immediately dissolve any space between you. We're at a crossroads right now, not only in this country, but throughout the entire world. I think everyone is totally exhausted from COVID. And I think the trauma of that has brought out a dangerous aggression in many people and a level of deeply rooted fear, especially here in our country. And it's tragic. It's really tragic to see. If a person feels good about themselves, they're not going to be cruel. They won't be able to be cruel. Because if you feel good about yourself, you're going to look for a reason and an opportunity to create a healing, right? Yeah. I send a lot of light to a lot of people that my old self doesn't think they deserve it. A little judgment there. I was raised a Catholic. But I believe there is a part of all of us in everyone. So if somebody is in distress, maybe they don't know the way yet. They don't know how to find the way out. That's my look at it. In the 7 portals of Buddhism, it states compassion is no attribute. It is the law of laws, a shoreless universal essence, the light of everlasting right, and the fitness of all things, the law of love eternal. Isn't that beautiful? Can you feel that? Compassion is the law of laws, the law of love eternal. It takes enormous courage right now, at this moment in human time, to have the courage of your convictions and to stand up for what we know is right and what makes good sense. And here's how that works. If it makes good sense for you, if it makes good sense for your family, if it makes good sense for everyone you love, doesn't it make good sense for all of humanity? That would be the natural progression. This month of June is commonly known as Gay Pride Month. Although it's been loosely celebrated for over 50 years, In 2000, President Clinton declared it to be Gay and Lesbian Pride Month. 11 years later, President Obama expanded the June celebration even further to be observed as Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, and Transgender Pride Month. Our beloveds in the LGBTQ community deserve to be uplifted and to be held in the light of the divine by all of us. And it's shocking to know that for the first time ever, in as long as they've been tracking it, at-risk Black youth in our community are now dying at a rate lesser than LGBTQ adolescents. Just making a statement like that is heartbreaking. The LGBTQ adolescents' rate of homicide and or suicide now rests at between 45 and 50% annually. What a tragic loss. What a tragic loss for all of us. Think of the brilliance we've lost. Think of those great brains, not only the Black adolescents, but the LGBTQ children, screaming out for somebody to have compassion, somebody to turn the tide. It's a tragedy, and we have the power to change it. We can change it, and we don't have to go out there and do anything that could jeopardize yourself, but the power of your thought, what you transmit through your heart, the way you live your life, how you speak to people, how you carry yourself, it speaks volumes. Anybody who's ever studied psychology or the body and motion, honey, you're being read a mile away before you open your mouth. So in our very carriage, if we become light-filled, love-filled, and open, miracles happen. Miracles happen. In the 1958 musical, South Pacific, there's a wonderful song written by Richard Rodgers and Oscar Hammerstein, and it's entitled, "You've Got to Be Carefully Taught." And here are some of the words. It's as important today as it was 63 years ago. You've got to be taught to hate and to fear. You've got to be taught from year to year. You've got to be taught to be afraid of people whose eyes are oddly made, and people whose skin is a different shade. Before you are 6 or 7 or 8, you've got to be carefully taught. Taught to hate all of the people your relatives hate. You've got to be carefully taught. You can pull that up on YouTube and see the original movie. Looks kind of corny now with all of our special effects we have, but fabulous, fabulous words. I had a client a long time ago in West Palm Beach whom I really cared for. He was gifted. He was a gifted, successful businessman. He loved his family. He contributed generously to the community. And he seemed, for all intents and purposes, to be this really, really good guy. But he hated gay people. And we had talked about that in session after session after session. And finally, you know, I might be this short Irish woman from Buffalo, but I have a temper. And he came in one day for his usual appointment. We sat down, said hi, blah, blah, blah. And I looked at him and I said, "So, did you have sex with your wife last night? Did you use any unusual positions?" And this man stood up and he said, "That is none of your business." And he sat down. And you know when you can cut the air with a knife? Yeah, we needed a machete. And I sat there and I thought, he was looking around at my desk and I thought, man, he's going to throw something at me. But he sat there for a few minutes and he was really, really quiet. And then he folded his arms. He just kind of sat there like that. And he said, "Touche, young lady. I had never thought of it like that. Thank you for making me think." I mean, it was a moment. It was a moment. And I said, exactly, it is not our place to insert ourselves into the private sexual relationships of any consenting adult, gay or straight. Mind your own business. He said, okay. I didn't know how that was going to go, but he ended up supporting a lot of charities that benefited many, many causes after that. I was really grateful it went so well. But I also know that if somebody comes to you for guidance and you're sitting in a position of authority, you better be prepared to tell the truth. You better be prepared to tell the truth. And you better have the courage to address important issues. The rule of thumb, by the way, is if you're working with a practitioner or a therapist 2.5 years and you haven't had a major life shift, move on. You're not with the right person. Quantum physics has demonstrated that what takes place in one part of the field affects every part of the field. We are children of God, and we all share at the core of our beings a smidgen of that same DNA life force as all of humanity. So when you harm another, you are harming yourself. You're tearing at the very fabric of the divine. What I'm suggesting is an actual demonstration of Ernest Holmes' idea of greater possibilities, something that we can all join in together for the betterment of our own divine natures and a gift that we can send out to all of humanity. Does that sound like a good way to wrap up today? Okay. This is called directed projection of energy. And you can project a thought from the third eye, center of your forehead, and from your heart center, and project it out into that universe that we now know has no edge. So you might have one individual you want to project to, but let's project to all of humanity, because this kind of work has power and substance. So think about whatever statement you would like to send out to the universe, and I will be making one on behalf of all of us with your permission. The caveat is you cannot send a negative. You can never force anyone to do your bidding. It's free will. So, take a nice deep breath. And I'm going to be sending this out for the betterment of CSLN, for everyone here in this sanctuary, for all of the people who have come through this church, through all these years and all those who will, and for everyone I love, which is a large group. As a child of light, I am sending out a prayer of divine strength and infinite wisdom to all of humanity, offering the courage of my convictions to share my life of love, hope, equanimity, peace, and compassion with the entire universe. And so it is. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Woo. Blessings, blessings, blessings. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's give Rosemary a hand. Wow, welcome to the CSLN experience. And we're going to slow things down again. although we've had such a great, grand, glorious experience with Rosemary, I am going to do our closing treatment. And again, just breathe in the breath of life as we now unite with this oneness. Now let it go. Love yourself enough to do this. We are one with this magnificent source as we open up to a new surge of energy, as the goodness of light and love is raising the vibration to get to the heart of the matter, awakening the divine compassion, inspiring, guiding, sustaining, directing us to rise above circumstances, conditions, challenges. Let us know the truth. I am enough. And I accept this truth with ease, joy, and glory, and with great expectations and appreciation. It is so. And with deepest gratitude, together we say, and so it is. Now is the time for us all to give back, and that which serves us. I would like to ask our ushers to come forth now. We can all accept gifts with cards in our bookstore too. And for online viewers, please make your contributions using the link in the description below, or mail your checks to our street address. Now, everyone can repeat after me. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is.
And once again, Gordon Ellis.
Spent most all my life believing that good things came to everyone but me. I had lots of stories that would prove it, lots of excuses. But what good did they bring? And I heard somewhere that it's done as you believe. It took some time to understand exactly what that means. I can have joy and peace. I can be truly free. I can do anything if I believe it. I can fulfill my dreams. I can have the love I need. wasn't ready to see my possibilities. And now I see this brand new path before me, and it shows me there's so much more that I can be. I feel a new fire burning in my soul, and I'll let it take me just as far as I can go. 'Cause I can have joy and peace. I can be truly free. I can do anything if I believe it. I can fulfill my dreams. I can have the love I need. Yeah, it's all been written in the universal plan. I can have it all, long as I believe I can. And if I stumble on the way, I'll wait until I hear that voice inside me say, I can have joy and peace. I can be truly free. I can do anything if I believe it. I can fulfill my dreams. I can have the love I need. Yeah, it's all been written in the universal plan. Yeah, I can have it all, long as I believe I can.
Gregory Fisher.
Thank you all.
Oh my gosh. Let's hear it for Gregory on the drums over here. Yeah. Oh my goodness gracious. What wonderful talent we have, and we know that we are made to be creative, and obviously that shows up here every Sunday. I'd like to once again thank Reverend Rosemary Cathcart for a beautiful talk today. Thank you. She's in the back. Yes, there she is. And our practitioners. Gwen, thank you very much. And Carl, we appreciate you so much. I know you have to leave right away, but Gwen, you're going to be in the lobby in case someone would like a treatment today. Please join her there. And again, thanks so much for joining us. This is a fantastic time in our lives, and you know we are gifted so much. When Rosemary talked about the news networks and some of the things that are not the brightest light, you know, it's easy sometimes to forget some of the beautiful things that we have. And we have greatness all around us every day. Like Carl said, you know, to be able to love, to show that love unconditionally reflects right back to us. And when we live with that love around us, we are at the peak of our existence. And today, a little story just before we go. You know, it's funny, I didn't even think about it. When I was younger, I used to complain and fuss every Sunday when my father made me shine my shoes before I went to church. And I just resented that so much. Had no idea. And didn't even think about it. This morning, I got up and shined my shoes before I came to church. I love him. I miss him. A great guy. I also, before I go, I want to thank Gordon, wherever he is, right here. Gordon, thank you for being here today. Yeah. And thank our wonderful band. Mark, thank you for being our
Thank you for Larry
today.
for letting me sit in.
Oh, we love you. And we're going to have some coffee and tea in the fellowship hall. I hope you'll join us, and hope you'll see Gwen, our wonderful practitioner, if you need a little lift, okay? Thank you for being here. Namaste. Have a wonderful week. Yeah.
This program is a service of the Center for Spiritual Living Nashville. May your life be filled with joy and prosperity in every way. Learn more about our programs or contact one of our practitioners at our website, cslnashville.org. You may also want to follow us on Facebook at CSLNASH. You can make a big difference with your financial gift at lovecsln.com. Please share the link to this program with a friend and join us again next Sunday. Have a wonderful week.